It's a day that began with India potentially in some concern. It ends with India in control. Day three of the Rajkot Test has indeed been moving day, a day that's seen the game move India's way. They finish 196 for 2 in their second innings. That's a lead of 322 after they managed to bowl England out for 319. This after England started the day on 207 for 2 and with the knowledge that India will be without our Ashwin. So quite a fascinating day. Lots of passages of play to dissect. That's what we're going to do on ESPN Cricinfo Match Day with Sanjay Manjrekar, who joins us from Rajkot. Sanjay, good evening. Thank you for your time. This
Pleasure.
has to be considered a remarkable day for India, considering just what it felt like going into the morning, knowing that R. Ashwin is not taking part and seeing the way England had batted on the second evening.
And plus the surface as well. I mean, it wasn't an easy surface where wickets were easily available for fast bowlers or spinners. So to get what 8 wickets with just 112 runs, cost of 112 runs was remarkable. And you just got to applaud this team, which doesn't. We sometimes think, Bumrah is the man who's got to bail India through. But look at Mohammad Siraj coming to the party, the way he bowled, and Kuldeep Yadav couple of crucial wickets, one lucky one of Duckett, but Bairstow getting him out, and then Jadeja finishing up the tail. So it was a tremendous performance by the bowlers, where the pitch hadn't changed, and kind of position that England was in to have them down, 8 wickets down for just 112 runs was tremendous effort.
Yeah, not too many occasions when you end up naming every bowler right at the start of a discussion. That's just how good India were as a pack. And it's not just that those 8 wickets fell for 112 runs. India bowled 36 overs. They managed to keep England to 3 per over, which on this kind of a surface against this batting lineup almost seems unheard of. That was just exemplary control from all four of the bowlers on display.
Yes, and I think it started off with Joe Root's dismissal, which was again, maybe you could say that, Bumrah was doing his thing, bowling well. Kuldeep Yadav also started off well, so maybe some kind of pressure build up, but it's a shot that Joe Root plays a lot. He got out, and that just opened the doors for India a little bit. In many ways, I think that was a bonus wicket. Had Joe Root got out, like he's done earlier in the series, playing a normal shot. Um, so that was a little bit of a lucky break for India. But then, Kuldeep Yadav bowling that delivery to get Bairstow out at the second ball, and then Duckett getting out in the way he did. So, all that just came at the right time. You might think that India were fortunate with the wicket of Joe Root, the shot that he played, and Ben Duckett, the way he played. But why did Ben Duckett play that shot tentatively? Is because of the pressure created by the Indian bowlers. There was no release of pressure from both ends. Once Bumrah finished his spell, Siraj took over, and then Kuldeep Yadav, I thought, stepped into the shoes of Ashwin beautifully.
That's where we could probably single out Mohammad Siraj because he's not always had it very easy in tests he's played at home. The wickets he ended with four. Those wickets came later in the day, but that morning spell was key, just to not let that pressure slip after the way Bumrah and Kuldeep had bowled, which has happened quite a few times in the series with India's second seamer.
And considering that he played the first test match, didn't have much of an impact on the game. And with Bumrah, he looked like a distant second steamer. And once Mukesh Kumar was rested and he was played in this game, uh, every time he finds success, there are these obvious skills that he has. He's a good seam bowler, but his greatest strength, again, I go to his spirit, the way he runs in and bowls. Just imagine had Bumrah finished it, and we had another bowler who's a trier, Mukesh Kumar, but not quite in the league of Mohammad Siraj. And you could see how immediately the pressure was released with Mukesh Kumar in operation. Nothing of the kind happened with Siraj. And this is a guy who will bowl with his tail up, no matter if he's bowled 30 overs for no wicket or he's got 3 or 4 wickets in a spell. He's got 8 4-wicket hauls. This guy. So India blessed that they have seamers who can get batters out on flat pitches. And while they are playing defensively, Bumrah is one, Mohammad Shami is not playing, and Siraj is the other.
You brought up Joe Root's dismissal, and that will have to be looked back upon As much as you know that live by the sword, die by the sword is almost a motto for this baseball team, they have to look at this day as a chance gone begging, given the situation they started the day in, given Ashwin's absence. For this to happen exactly at the midpoint of the series, with it balanced the way it was, this is a moment which could be defining in the series.
They'll be saying, there's still some cricket left. They'll come all guns blazing. Typically, Ben Stokes will look to get the Indians out in the first session, just like India bounced back. They'll look to do the same and do their thing in the final inning. So it's an opposition that India cannot take lightly. They are in a strong position. But yes, opportunity missed in the sense that, well, Joe Root played that shot, which is part of that whole new approach, and failed this time. I don't think one word will be said to him. Going forward, it's another discussion about Joe Root because he's such a capable player that without playing those kind of shots, he can still score at that strike rate. And yes, we have seen in recent times the average is better with this new approach, but this has to be seen over a longer period of time. So it's a wait and watch with people like Joe Root and people like Kane Williamson, who are better off playing conventionally rather than go um, just maybe attacking too much. So that's a thing for the future, but I don't think they'll blink an eye, the Englishman, with the opportunity missed.
Regardless of the method, England do have to look at the returns from people like Joe Root and Johnny Bairstow. Halfway through the series, 10 innings played. Between them, there's less than 170 runs. And these were the batters you would have thought would hold key to England's batting over the course of a long five-test series in India.
Yes, but the score is 1-1. That's how they look at it. Johnny Bairstow is more of a worry than Joe Root because you think Joe Root, if he decides to put his head down and maybe not play one of those shots, whatever. I mean, he'll find a way to get runs. It's a five-test match series, and there's still time there. He's contributed with the ball greatly, but Johnny Bairstow, the way he gets out, is a little bit of a worry. So him on Indian pitches against spinners has a point to prove. But this is how they go about. They'll keep backing players who have the ability to attack and change the course of the game. And they'll have memories of Bairstow chasing down 360 against India. So yeah, matter of concern. But they look at the the larger picture as to how their batting has been, and they look at the scoreline and say it's 1-1. We haven't done too badly. We'll wait for the result of this one.
Right, so that was part one of the day. India managed to take control with a 126-run first innings lead, but they went on to establish their command with bat, and it was Yashasvi Jaiswal who was the star of the show. He's asserted himself once in every game this series. Sanjay, what stood out to you the most about this 100?
I was getting a little worried with the way he started off in the second innings. I felt that he came in with a preconditioned mind that he's going to be defending. Um, like you do in test matches, the old fashioned way, play out the first 30, 40 deliveries a la Pujara style. And I was a little worried because he's a naturally attacking player, a modern player, whether he'll be able to sustain that kind of a start and approach. But slowly, he opened up, and slowly, as in once he opened up, it was just amazing how he went from pure test match mode to pure T20 mode. The strike rate that he attained after the first 50 balls was in keeping with the T20 strike rate. So what we saw of Yashasvi Jaiswal is, to begin with, he showed some guts, good technique of defense. So he has that. But after that is what makes Jaiswal special, because you saw the sweep shots today, and it looked like he didn't have to make too much of an effort. It seemed like he had mastered those shots. We saw the reverse sweep, we saw the normal sweep, we saw the switch side sweep as well. Plus, there are the drives that he plays beautifully. He's got the cuts, the lofted shot. It's not just that the ball just goes over the boundary rope; it sails into the stand. So he's got the power game as well. So for somebody who has so many options to score runs, he's got all the ingredients in place to become a special player. Now let's wait and see what happens. But it was another reminder as to the exceptional ability that he has.
And we'll also wait and see whether he rejoins this batting effort. He did have to retire hurt with a back niggle after completing his third 100 in only his seventh test. And he was 19 of 54 before tea. That acceleration, 85 runs of 79 balls in the final session. A final session, Sanjay, where India added 150 plus runs in 35 overs. That's where they've really asserted further control in this game. They have to look at a high target. We've spoken enough times of India looking like they could be within reach of a very high total, but they haven't necessarily done so in this series. This is an innings where it's important, especially seeing that the pitch hasn't really started breaking down.
Yeah, but we've got to look at the facts that, when we look at a situation like this, we think, wow, we can put on 500, 600 runs, give them a huge lead. Ashwin is missing, and he's an important batter. You saw his contribution with the bat in the first innings. We're not sure about Jaiswal, his fitness. Rajat Patidar has got out, Rohit Sharma has got out. So a lot hinges on Shubman Gill, who I expect will carry on in the same way. Then we have a debutant like Sarfraz Khan coming in. Jadeja becomes a key player. But morning session, we saw England slip. Less likelihood of India slipping just because of the quality of the attack. And I keep saying this, the spin attack of England as the series progresses will start getting more and more exposed. So yes, India looks to be in a very good position, but I'll wait till the morning session is finished. And I don't think India have to worry about time in this test match. They don't need to look at time as to how soon can they get or how much time do they need to get England out. Because I don't think England will be playing for a draw.
Yeah, I think it's 7 wickets that have fallen in just the opening hour of the 3 days of play we've seen so far. If India can negate that passage, well, they'll go a long way towards batting England out of this game. Day 3, it moved a lot. What happens on day 4? It should be a tantalizing affair. We look forward to your company at the end of day 4 then, Sanjay. Thank you for your time on ESPN Cricinfo Match Day.